Good morning, YouTube. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping. So, as you all know by now, the peace president dropped six 30,000-pound bombs on 3 different Iranian locations where nukes were supposedly being built. Now, the sheer hypocrisy of this president and the Zionists who control or work with him over who and who cannot have nukes should be staggering. China, North Korea, Palestine, India, Turkey, and Zionist Israel, along with the U.S., all have nuclear bombs, with some estimates that Israel may have 400. 75 to 400. Quite a gap, but let's go with 75 even. How many do one need? Okay. Oh, and Russia. So all these countries already have nuclear bombs and are allowed to produce nuclear energy. Now, Iran, according to all the laws and rules established by all the countries out there, no country can be refused the right to produce nuclear energy for themselves. So Iran said, that's what we're doing. But for 40 years, we've heard pretty much only from Zionist Israel, Zionists here in America, warmongering military-industrial complex types, that Iran is going to have a nuke in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. 40 years. That's as bad as the climate change scam. But usually within a paragraph of every Iran can't have nukes, boom, 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 regime change comes up. Now, Trump and his ego, of course, the biggest, the most beautiful bombings, we destroyed everything they had, blah, blah, and if they retaliate, we'll show them much more, much, much more. There's a lot you're not being told by the Zionist news, the Zionist politicians, podcasters, blah, blah, blah. And I think that Scott Ritter, a man who's in the know, tells it like it is pretty good here, so you can see through the psyop that you're becoming a victim of, Magites, Q-tards, and all the Christian Zionists. Let's take a peek.
Welcome to this edition of Ritter's Rant. Back in the 1980s, there was a commercial for Wendy's, the fast food chain. It was mocking the tendency of McDonald's and Burger King to have these big sandwiches, but there was just a lot of bun and a lot of lettuce and a lot of onions, but not too much burger. And there was this little old lady who would come up and look at her sandwich and say, "Where's the beef?" And that's sort of my take when I reflect on this bombing attack by the United States ordered by President Trump just a few hours ago against Iran. I mean, according to the president, this was the biggest, grandest thing that's ever happened in the world. It's a magnificent victory for the United States that has totally obliterated the Iranian nuclear program and has demonstrated the massive power of the American Air Force. But then I take a look at the reality of it, that he bombed 3 sites, 2 of which, Isfahan and Natanz, had been previously bombed by Israel, destroyed, and the material already evacuated. And the 3rd site, Ferdo, which people had been anticipating to be struck for some time now, and there's nothing in it, it's empty. And I have to ask myself, where's the beef? What was done here? This wasn't a serious military attack. I have planned serious military attacks. We bomb targets that have legitimate purpose, and we want to put munitions on the target in a way that achieve a discernible outcome that furthers the military objectives of whatever campaign we're operating in support of. There's no way anybody can tell me that sending a B-2 bomber, the most advanced weapon system in the United States arsenal, packing two GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators to bomb empty facilities furthers the national security interests of the United States. There was nothing in Natanz. There was nothing in Isfahan. And yet we put American lives at risk, and we put at risk Iranian lives on the ground to do this grand act of theater so Donald Trump could have his TV moment with J.D. Vance and Hegseth, behind him, staring resolutely into the camera as if they have accomplished something the equivalent of winning World War II. Where's the beef? Nothing. Fair, though. According to the Iranians, despite the fact that we dropped six massive ordnance penetrators on this facility, the main facility is intact, and only an exit and an entrance have been damaged. There's 5 entrances to the Earth, so it's not as though they sealed it off. Where's the beef? What was accomplished here? Why did the president do this? According to news reports, the United States signaled to the Iranians that this was it. It was a limited strike. There was to be no further action tonight. Now, the president's rhetoric in his statement to the address suggested that if Iran didn't surrender and seek peace, that there would be additional action. But for the moment, this American attack against Iran seems designed to limit Iranian retaliatory possibilities. First of all, it appears that no regional military assets were used in this strike. This appears to be not something planned by Central Command, CENTCOM, but rather Strategic Command, perhaps facilitated or assisted by Pacific Command. That means that American military assets outside of the theater were used. Therefore, none of the assets currently within striking range of Iranian missiles are implicated. This could inhibit or at least put the brakes on any Iranian retaliation, which would be good news, because if the Iranians don't retaliate in a manner that threatens American life, then maybe we don't see this escalation taking place. But you have to ask yourself, why did the president do this? And the answer is not to further national security interests, but to save face. This is about Donald Trump trying to preserve the legacy of Donald Trump. He had gotten himself into hot water by aligning himself with an Israeli surprise attack against Iran, which went badly. The Iranians have retaliated and they're doing significant harm against Israel, and nobody's been able to do anything to eliminate the Iranian nuclear program, which the president said has to be eliminated. Iran didn't yield to the threats put by the president or the demands of unconditional surrender, so Trump was left in a situation where he looked like a fool. And the only way out was to do the most foolish thing imaginable, launching a bombing attack against Iran. But then he did something even more foolish. He bombed empty targets, which appears to be the most sage and wise decision of all, because now he has created at least the potential of a window of opportunity to disengage from the disaster he had created. I don't know what the future is going to be. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I do know that when we take a look at this greatest military victory of all military victories that Donald Trump is trumpeting, there ain't no beef there. Where's the beef?
So, there you have it from Scott Ritter's point of view. Very, very deep intel guy, very experienced, should have been part of any Trump regime that was actually looking to achieve peace around the world. Now, I can already hear the Magites and the Q-tards taking some of what Mr. Ritter said, that, well, this is when they find out. Right now, the Magites and the Q-tards don't realize that they were just tricked, fooled, and lied to by Trump by bombing empty and already bombed supposed nuclear sites. So when they find out, to cover face and run cover, for Trump, they're going to say, oh, this was all part of the plan. What a brilliant chess move. Trump says that he wants 2 weeks for Iran to take a knee and surrender unconditionally, and then he attacks them 2 days later, but he bombs empty nuclear sites and ones that have already been damaged. So it looks like he's really strong and achieving peace through strength, but at the same time, he didn't actually hurt anything in Iran, and he's still giving them a chance to come to the table and get down before the altar of Trump and capitulate for Zionist Israel and warmongering politicians. They probably won't add that last part. So, that's where we're at. Is there a possibility that this was a move by Trump to make it look like he was doing something, wasting hundreds of millions of dollars in U.S. ammunition to bomb empty and already damaged nuclear sites, knowing full well that Iran has every right afforded every other nation on the planet to do nuclear power if they want to. And once again, hypocritically, who are we to tell other countries they can't have nuclear weapons like we do? Iran is the only country on the planet that everyone says can't have one. Never a word about China, India, Pakistan, Turkey, Israel, Egypt, North Korea. So, once again, 85% of the American people completely disagree with Trump sticking his nose into Iran-Israel conflict on behalf of Zionists, or because you're a Zionist, or both. But Trump doesn't care what we think. He got installed again. He gets 4 years, and there's nothing any of us can do about it. Now, hopefully, like Ritter said, this de-escalates some things. Maybe something gets worked out. We're going to find out. But buckle up. I'm not sure what the man is thinking, because I don't think he knows. All right, JT, signing out.